What's up, guys? So today I want to talk a little bit about eating frequency, meal timing, specifically as it pertains to losing body fat, losing weight. Remember, when we talk about losing weight, we're talking about losing body fat, not lean body mass. All right, so there's three things that I always talk about that I think are the most important things that we have to look at. And number one is eating frequency, okay? How many times a day, how many times throughout the day do we eat, and how often do we do it, okay? So ideally we want to have a low eating frequency, okay, as low as we can have it. And starting off, there's no reason for any of us to be eating more than 3 times a day, okay? And there's no need to be snacking in between meals. Nobody's going to die because they didn't have a cupcake, at 2 in the afternoon. So 3 meals a day is more than enough for all of us, for any of us to get, probably more than we need to get all the calories, we need to sustain ourselves, okay? And number 2 is going to be, we're looking at a eating window, okay, a time frame during which we eat those 3 meals, okay? And at a maximum, we're going to set it, this is a starting point, we're going to set it out at 8 hours, okay? So we're going to have an 8-hour eating window, and at most within that window, we're going to do 3 meals, okay? And then number 3, we want to look at, which is very important, exactly what we're eating, okay? So the standard American diet consists of generally like 60% carbohydrates, and then the rest is made up of fats and proteins. That recommendation comes from our friends in the government, the USDA, right? So they recommend that we eat 60% of our calories from the 1 macronutrient out of 3 that we don't need. We never have to eat another carbohydrate. None of us has to eat carbohydrates. What are essential are healthy fats and proteins. And these clowns down in Washington put out these guidelines that say you should have 60% or around 60% of your calories from carbohydrates, the thing we don't need. Okay, so we're taking advice from a bunch of these clowns who they're really as smart and have as much common sense as a bunch of baboons sitting in a corner that are rubbing shit in their own hair. Okay, and these are the people that we're taking nutritional advice from. Okay, so we're crazy for doing that. All right, so let's take a look at like applying this and how we want to do it. So let's take a guy that works like a 9-to-5 job, and he gets up at 7 a.m. and goes to bed at midnight. Now, we don't want to be eating anywhere near bedtime, so we want to give ourselves at least like a 3-hour buffer from the time we stop eating until the time we go to bed. All right, so let's take that guy that works a 9-to-5. Let's say he gets up at 7 a.m. and he goes to bed at midnight. So we're going to count backwards from his bedtime, midnight. That's going to give us 9 p.m. So we're going to take our 8-hour block of time that we're going to eat, and we're going to drop it somewhere between his wake-up time, 7 a.m., and his cutoff time, which is going to be 9 p.m., which is 3 hours away from his bedtime, okay? So that's in a perfect world. Somebody that works, has regular hours per se. So I had a question from one of our subscribers, Rudy, who actually works crazy hours. He works 7 p.m. until 5 a.m. So what do we do there? Well, it's not ideal, and I worked night hours for most of my life too, and it really is bad on your health and all around, but we have to do the best we can do with what we have. So I would suggest to Rudy that, he gets off of work at 5 a.m., and let's give him a couple of hours to get home and get to bed, and let's say he goes to sleep at 7 a.m., all right? And we're going to ideally give him at least 7 hours sleep, so let's say he wakes up at 2 p.m., right? So his bedtime is going to be 7 a.m. He's going to wake up at 2 p.m. So we're going to go to the bedtime. We're going to count backwards 3 hours. That gives us 4 a.m. So Rudy's going to take his 8-hour eating block, and he's going to drop it anywhere between 2 p.m. and 4 a.m. Okay? And then within that 8-hour window, he's going to have his 3 meals with no snacks, ideally. Okay? Now, he does that 4 days a week, and then he's off for 3 days, and he's not working those crazy hours. So on his days off, he's just going to have to apply the same rules when he goes home, and he'll take his waking time, and he's going to have to figure out what time he would generally go to bed on his days off, and he would count back 3 hours from that bedtime, and he's going to drop his 8 hours in between the waking time and that end time that we set, okay, 3 hours away from his bedtime, okay? This mainstream lunacy about, you have to eat 4, 5, 6, 7 small meals a day, it's absolute, it's craziness, you know. And then they'll tell you, well, you're not losing weight, you're probably not eating enough, you have to eat some more calories to lose weight. I just don't get it. I mean, they're killing us. They're literally killing us, you know, with all this processed food and the fast food, you know. And you can't fault them because they sell it and we buy it and we eat it, and it's destroying our health. So that's really it. That's the general rule that I kind of use for meal timing. All right, so give those ideas a try. I think they'll help you out if you have like crazy eating patterns and stuff like that. I think it'll help even you out a little bit. Let me know in the comments below. Leave me a comment or a question. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. As always, we appreciate you watching, and I'm going to catch you in the next one. Thanks, guys.